Whoops. Hey, everybody. It's the Oddcast podcast every Friday from 10 to 11. Good to see everybody. Happy St. Valentine's Post Day, even though that was last Saturday.
Okay, good morning.
Hi,
Well, look, we
I'm
missed
in my
it last
pajamas.
year. I know. Look at you, Melissa.
Kind of.
We're kind of having a theme today on sleeping and stuff
In honor
like
of
that.
me.
Yeah, because, look, no, I'm not kidding. Historically, Melissa, Dean, on our show, when we were on Live 105.3, and even when we flipped to the Fan, and then even at the Edge, 102.1 The Edge,
No, never at the edge.
Dean, you fell asleep because you were right
Usually
next
during
to
your
me.
segments.
Only during my segment.
I'm not even allowed to call you. We were on the phone the other day, and I said, let's get him on the phone. He said, no, it's way too early. I said, it's 11. I said, he's
It's way too
sleeping.
11.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dean's a self-admitted night owl, but there were times Dean would be sitting there, and I would watch him. Me and Jagger would be talking. This is on the air, and we'd both be nodding at each other because Dean would have like a pen in his hand, like he was trying to think of something, and his eyes would be out, and he'd be nodding off or whatever, and then he would slowly look up to make it look like he was like pensive, kind of like that. Yeah. So we cold busted that boy so many times, but we love
Many
you, Dean.
times. I can tell.
Yes.
You got so fancy today.
I did?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
You're in a dress shirt.
Oh, thank you. Okay, well, thank you.
Okay, you're
You should
welcome.
you should see what his panties look like. Fantastic. They're really dressy.
Just for the record, Melissa is disgusting and filthy. And
Now,
naughty.
Dean, you're the
Before we
clean
come on
cut.
air,
No.
she's talking
no.
about what
Stop it.
would fit through this donut hole.
Stop it. And not true.
And winking.
Not-
And then Mondo looks at me and says something about Cheerios. So the whole thing,
You're Irish, that's
you were
why.
talking about mango. No one here understands what we're saying.
they don't. But we're just giving a little insight into what happens before the magic. Are we allowed to have? Here's what our show is today. Are we allowed to have?
Yeah,
this
go ahead
on
and show
there?
it.
I know,
We're
well,
supposed to make it seem like this is magic.
No,
That's not
go
supposed
ahead.
to be there, but just in case someone needs to keep us on track.
Chris Jagger is the executive producer of the Oddcast podcast.
Right.
We love Jagger, and he's a big deal behind On Air Media. So
He is a big deal.
yes. Hey, listen. So we had some good guests coming up later today. Her name is Mimi Pettibone, and if you have a recurring dream, I have a recurring dream. I don't know if there's anybody in this room who doesn't have one, but she's a dream interpreter. So we're going to get her on, kind of talk about some dreams that we've had. There's one in particular that I had recently that has kind of left me mystified. Melissa, the impetus of today's show,
Why is this all about me?
because
You guys.
you're the launch pad to why we're even going down this path.
Because if the show's not good, we need a scapegoat. That's why.
That's
Thanks.
it. And you had a brilliant dream that we're going to discuss
Yes.
with Mimi.
But see, that's okay, and we will discuss it with her because I think it's not about me. It's something that happened in my head. So I don't know why I'm getting all
No,
the.
you're right. You're right. I think the dynamic of your dream
Right.
that you had
Yeah.
that involved another person of the same sex. What I think is that it's not what you think it is.
Good tease.
Thank you. Well, she's coming up. We're going to discuss that more.
We don't
in
even
depth.
need her. at this
No, we
point.
do. We do. We need to find out what's the underlying.
Okay,
thing
well,
to it.
before we get into that, how do you sleep? Are you a
Comfortably.
side? Okay, but are you a side sleeper? Do you start off on your stomach? Do you do the pillow between the knees?
Yeah,
All right, do you-
I sleep on my side
Okay.
with a big body pillow.
Oh, like a woman.
Thanks. This is why I don't share anything. Yeah, it's just like a woman.
He puts a wig on it at night, strokes it, just so
Yes.
that way.
Wearing a mud mask.
Yes. Even as a voice recorder, do the laundry, do the dishes, just so that way it feels at home.
You do? You really do? Do you like hold on to it?
Not like needfully.
I don't know if I believe that, Dean.
Oh, that's sweet.
No, since I got really fat, it's like I need something between
Is
my
that your
legs
cry
'cause it's
pillow, too?
sweaty.
That's I was going to
No,
ask,
the
but I
cry
felt like it
pillow-
was rude.
The cry pillow never leaves my side. That's what this is. People think I'm fat.
Oh, it's your cry pillow. You carry it
actually
with
my
you
cry
everywhere.
pillow.
I like that.
Okay, what about you?
I'm a side sleeper too. Primarily,
Like a woman.
no, I don't have.
He didn't say he had a body pillow
Yeah, I don't
shaped like
have
a
some-
woman with boobs.
Doctors recommend that for good back posture too while you're sleeping.
Okay.
How's your back holding up?
Good.
Just curious.
Good.
All right, good. Good
When
to
I lay
know.
on my side, I have perfect posture.
Thank you. I am a side
I have the
sleeper,
worst
primarily on my right side, which is bad because I have a bad shoulder. But we do have a Tempur-Pedic, the Serta Tempur-Pedic, the dual
Bragger.
adjustable, and that was given to us when we were at the Edge, even though I had to pay taxes on it. Very upsetting.
Okay, so we in our house, and I don't know if we've discussed this or not, but we have something called DCTT. Don't cross the threshold. Is that right? DC. Don't cross the threshold. So we put pillows in between us and we create a barrier.
Oh my God.
Why? Okay, there's another thing called sleep in another room. Why did you do that?
Just because I mean, you gotta sleep in the same room. So we put these pillows between us, DCTT, and then that creates kind of this like roadblock. But I face the other way. I used to sleep on my stomach before babies, and then I don't sleep much, but when I do, it's kind of on my side.
And by the way, if you want to call in and chime in, 972-884-0816 if you have an opinion or want to tell us how or what you sleep in or whatever. But another thing, Melissa, that I think is interesting. So Amanda and I, we have dual adjustable, which means that we kind of have that same threshold, but we sleep hot. And so
What does that mean?
In other words, we are both hot at night. So we have an air conditioner in our room specifically to keep our room in the low 60s overnight. Are y'all doing that because y'all are both hot sleepers? Your body temperature?
I mean, body temperature doesn't come into that decision.
No. Why?
I've never been one to like hold someone all night while I sleep. I don't want anyone touching me.
I don't
while
either.
I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
It's a distraction.
No, I get that.
It's annoying. I can't even put lotion on my legs. Okay, why is everyone?
How's that related?
No, I just think
That was the
like,
weirdest non sequitur. I don't like being held. I don't even put lotion on my legs.
Just letting that marinate.
I can't.
I don't
deal-
like puppies. I can't even play canasta. What the hell was that?
I don't know. I can't.
Because the lotion holds you?
No, it's just like touching. it's like slimy.
Wait,
I don't know.
but you've
get
worn
that at all.
you've worn a face mask at night.
What?
Have you worn like a black, clay mask or the
Oh, I was like, what kind of mask? I haven't
a skin
slept.
mask?
I've not. Well, I've slept all night. No,
But you've had it on in bed,
And you open the zipper so you can snore?
right?
no. I wash my face and I go to sleep.
Okay,
I don't
so you don't
know.
apply anything. You feeling the heat now?
Yes. Why? Leave me
Well,
alone.
No, I think it's interesting because what you're saying is that you don't want to cuddle with your husband.
He
Stay
doesn't want to
away.
cuddle with me.
Yeah.
I don't want to cuddle with him.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
doesn't. I mean,
I don't like sleeping with the blanket. And I hate checking the mail.
and we like it really cold, and we have to have a fan. There we go.
No, I'm
answer
with
your
you on that.
question about
No,
this.
I'm actually like almost
my
100%
God.
with you.
I
on
gotta
that.
get outta here.
But wait,
Okay.
Dean. So if you were partnered up, or is it the same thing with you? Like the body pillow is just in place of actually a person where you need to cuddle
You
them.
for
and hold
sure.
them.
You for sure like to hold someone all night.
Yeah,
For
I
sure.
do like that sometimes.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do miss.
Like for me, I don't think that like after you do it, you have to have that moment of like that. We have to take the 10 seconds and like cuddle. Like that's not necessary.
No, you scurry over your pillow wall and knock the oil of Olay off the nightstand and go, Mommy's done!
I don't know. Maybe.
Husband over there smoking a cigarette.
Maybe.
Wow,
Why are you judging?
I like that.
I'm not judging. I'm basing it on the evidence you've presented today,
I'm
young
not
lady.
denying it.
I know.
Mister.
So then that
Okay, so what you're saying you're hot.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so I'm curious. We kind of all had an exercise or some homework to do as to what we all sleep in at night.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Mondo, what do you think that we all sleep in?
Okay. Well,
Okay.
here's what I think. Let's see.
Are you waiting for your
We talked about
prompt?
this
Yeah,
Tuesday.
This is I know. This
Come
is what,
on, brain trust.
This is what I think Dean sleeps like at night. On the side, covered up, his head covered, can't stand to see the light. By then it's like 2 p.m. That's why he's got that over his head. So that's what I think Dean sleeps like. That's Melissa. That's my idea of how Melissa sleeps.
It's a
I
witch's
wish.
covenant? What is
Oh,
that?
luxurious silk.
Oh, I see.
You're
Fantastic.
So, yeah, right. With lipstick on.
Jagger counting his money, can't sleep. Got the skull cap with the glasses over his nose.
Totally.
We've seen that many a time. So
By the
that's
way, go to productions of Colleges of Scrooge. That's what that picture says. Northlake proudly presents
Yes.
Ebenezer.
Okay, my turn.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
here
who?
we go.
All right, here we go. Who do we have first? I can't. Okay, here's Dean. Aww.
oh,
So
with
you have
Rubber
a,
ducky,
and you have a
you're
little
the
bib
one.
to catch the tears.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And the soft hands. Hold on, can you go back real quick? Sorry, Jansen.
Does he have soft hands?
Look at the hands; they're so moisturized.
They
I
are.
noticed
They're
that.
glistening.
Because you really we always talk about your soft hands. Okay, there's Jansen. Total. That's him for sure.
Which, by the way, I'm a cuddler, big time.
Thank you, Jansen.
Oh yeah.
I
In
would
another
have never
universe, we're
guessed.
married and happy.
Okay, there he is.
Jagger?
That is him. He's in a nightshirt, and it's just beautifully steamed, and hitting him right below the knee.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
A
also
nitro.
the way he sleeps. That's his sleep position.
Right. Okay. There's Mondo's.
Yes.
Okay. So
Right.
and then you also get a bonus because there's your bed.
Oh, I bet that
For
would
the
be-
record, I'm spice sensitive, so I can't have pepperoni anymore.
Why are you spice sensitive?
Because of my cancer.
Okay.
10-11.
Yes.
It's Cancer
I
Watch. 10-11 this morning.
used to have dendritic follicular cell sarcoma. I beat it.
Oh
By the way, there is someone who commented on our Facebook page of
Oh,
the Oddcast
God.
podcast who said,
wanna know.
Dean, in relation to talking about Melissa with a mask on her face, calling her the Gimp.
Yes.
What is? I don't even know what that means.
Well, you need
the-
to see
the Gimp
movies.
suit.
You need to get
Pulp
out of your
Fiction.
house once in a while.
Yeah, go see Pulp Fiction and you'll know what the
Oh,
Gimp
is that this?
No.
Yes, that is in
Yeah,
Pulp
Melissa,
Fiction.
that is it.
That is part
No,
of
the
Pulp
gimp
Fiction.
is like it's like a leather bondage face where it's like the zipper for the mouth and
She
like
knows
the
what
zipper
it is.
eyes.
No, she
Hannibal.
No,
No.
Melissa,
No, then-
it's an S&M bondage leather outfit that's skin tight. The only way they can speak is having a zipper over their mouth and they open it. Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe we can.
Maybe
find a
my
picture
husband
of
wears that.
Ooh, I like that.
Here you go. It's this right here.
Okay.
Thank you, Jansen.
So this is the photo of the Gimp.
Yes, if we had interns,
Oh my God.
this is what they'd have to wear.
Oh, Melissa, don't act like you're shocked.
Yeah.
There we go. Bring out the Gimps.
Who wears that?
Backup dancer
Don't
for
judge.
Madonna.
Do you remember that sex dungeon we went to?
I do.
Okay, so
Okay.
now
There.
does that answer your
I was
question?
I know. Yes,
Okay,
we
thanks.
did go to
See
a,
how she plays coy.
Right. All right, Dean.
That
So
sex
what is-
dungeon. Oh my
A
gosh.
butt plug? What is that?
A mango. What is that?
Dean, let's take a look at your pictures.
Oh, gosh.
And
Here we
see
go.
who you think wears what to bed.
Yes.
And by the way, we do have reality pictures of what we wear to bed.
Yeah.
So that's what I
because
think
if-
Mondo wears.
Thank you. Finally, someone gets me.
No, that's Melissa.
That's her.
Right.
That's her Gimp outfit without the mask.
There's Jedi.
Of course.
You know, I actually have a similar robe.
Is
So
that a
you're-
Battlestar Galactica?
What? Get out.
I'm just kidding.
It's a Yoda robe. Tired you are. That's you, Mondo.
You meaning Mondo.
Oh, look at me with the two hands clenched.
There he is.
There's Mr. Jagger.
Jagger with the picture of himself.
Picture of himself.
Of course.
In a toga.
I love myself. Right.
All right. So there's
Aw.
a.
Okay,
Well, no, go ahead.
Okay, so I had to. Of course, we had to take pictures of ourselves in bed. So this is in bed, and I had just washed my face. I have my glasses on with my top knot, and I had to put a little heart over the
Your
shirt
areola?
because it was a little
Wait,
see-through.
Can we go back to that?
Yeah.
Because just because
No,
of the
no,
white.
I know you're.
No,
gonna
no,
make-
we're-
I
I just
We're
want to
going
point
back.
out something. Just because of the white sheets and everything, and it looks like on Facebook, surgery was a success.
But the other thing I noticed, Dean,
It
Melissa
looks
brought
like a
up.
hospital.
Melissa brought up something different. But notice how she's clenching the pillows. Like.
he was
Not because you said you have man hands. I'm just saying
I
that
have man hands.
you are nervous or something
Well,
taking
I mean,
that
it's
photo.
weird. I'm like, hey, honey, we're in bed. I'm like, do you mind turning on all the lights and taking a picture of me for the show with my, And he's like, okay. And I'm like, no, wrong angle. Do it again.
Oh
Do it
my
again.
God,
Do it again.
no
I
wonder.
have 50 pictures.
And
And the kids in the other room, do it again. Why is mommy so?
They're like,
driven?
we've never heard that before. What
Right.
is mommy saying?
and I'm just curious, those pillows that were behind you, were those your wall pillows that
No, the
go?
pillows on the side of the wall.
Oh,
Daddy's
okay.
crossed the
back.
threshold
Yeah.
of pillows.
And then
Are
the
they getting a
behind me.
divorce?
Why are they touching?
All right, so that was
I
what
just sleep with two pillows, and I hate grapes.
right.
Okay.
All right,
Moving on.
All right, there's what look at my beautiful quilt.
Jesus, was that a murder scene?
God,
Where's the black light? We need the black light in there.
oh, it'd be all over.
This is like this thing you see. And in Forney, man found dead.
I didn't know she was really going to take it while I was sleeping.
With the quilt. Forney.
Oh my God, I slept so good. that
Okay,
night.
Wow.
who else do we have? Oh, there
Oh,
he is.
Jen.
Oh yeah.
I'm sleeping on my desk. That's my desk.
You're a side sleeper, Jansen?
I am. We spoon. So.
Oh God!
Are
all
you
night?
serious?
Oh,
Oh, all night long. I can't sleep now without spooning.
that sounds
Yeah.
like it's
Are
awful.
you serious?
All night long. It's great because we keep it super cold in the room too, and then we keep ourselves warm with the spoonage. It's great.
That sounds
Yeah,
awful
I
to
miss
me.
that.
You do.
It is.
What happens if you're the lucky Pierre, Dean? Never
Come on,
mind.
explain what a lucky Pierre is. Since you're going to bring that reference up, you might as well explain.
The lucky
to
Pierre.
some of our listeners.
There's a person in the front, a person in the back, and the person in the middle is the lucky Pierre.
There's a man in the front, a man in the middle,
Oh, okay.
and no, the woman's in front, and then a man's facing her, and then another man's behind that guy, and the guy in the middle is called the lucky Pierre, which I call it a bad subway ride, but there you go.
Oh, now we haven't seen what Dean looks like while he's sleeping.
Here we go.
You're excited.
Sorry.
Here it is.
Oh, we're coming.
Da, da, da,
Da,
da.
da, 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 da. It's coming.
I really want to guess what you really
There it
sleep
is.
in. There's Dean asleep.
I sleep naked.
In your birthday suit.
He's a
Now, there's
sleepwalker.
one thing I do wear when I'm sleeping.
A clover.
No, if you want to show that. It's the only thing I wear while I'm sleeping.
Hey, do you get sleep apnea, Dean?
No, but I do have the sleep paralysis thing, which is why I sleep naked. For those people who don't
Hold
know,
on. Back up. Do you really sleep naked?
calm down.
Wow, Melissa.
Do you really? For real?
Melissa.
Yeah, unless my kids are home, and then I'll wear like a T-shirt or
They
something.
wear like a
With
singlet.
nothing else?
Well, and shorts, yeah.
Okay.
Dean in a singlet.
Like a crop top, nothing else.
A camisole.
Yes, with a crop top and a camisole.
So soft and gentle, Dean.
As I rub lotion furiously on my hands all night.
Don't touch me.
Hugging my pillow.
Wow, so
And
you
crying.
you experience sleep paralysis.
Yeah, so people who don't know, but it's like when you're asleep, your body will, and it's scientifically, what happens is your brain disconnects from your body for a moment. It just stops sending signals, and so you're actually, everybody does it all the time, but I'm one of the fortunate few who wake up during it, and it is hellish. And
No, can I say now? I have a ghost hunting company, right? And we no. With sleep paralysis, we attribute sleep paralysis to being oppressed by a demon,
yeah,
and-
because you have horrible dreams.
Why don't we ask Mimi about this?
right? And so,
Maybe she can give us a little bit of insight. But
Right.
I wonder what that's about.
So what it is, again, it's just a function of your body during the night. Everybody has it, but some people wake up during it. And I, my entire life, have woken up, and the way I figured out, because I would wake up and there would be demons yelling at me. There'd
See?
be this cat that was trying to suck the breath out of me. Horrible dreams.
Yeah.
And you're just paralyzed, and it's terrifying.
and you can't
Awful.
move. I've had experienced that same thing only once, where I dreamed these demons were circling around my bed, and I was trying to stop it. I couldn't physically do anything.
Yeah.
And sleep paralysis is real, but there are some people who say it's one thing, that it's oppression in the religious sense, and there's others who just say scientifically what Dean said.
Yeah, and so what I figured out is that like I have to concentrate really hard on like just moving my finger, and then once I do that, it reactivates the connection between mind and body, not spiritually in some weird way that there's wolves in the valley. I'm just saying it reconnects,
Yeah.
and then I can kind of push my way out of it. But what I found out was if you're hot, that's one reason why it happens. So that's part of the reason I sleep
sleep naked.
naked.
Okay, I like
so
how
I'm
you brought it
very
back home.
cool, and I haven't had it in years.
But was it a recurring thing for you to have sleep?
Many times.
Many times, okay.
When I was a kid, it was so terrible, and I was terrified to tell anybody about it because I thought I was really, because I was a kid, I was raised religiously, and I thought it was hell, and I was living a bad life, and I didn't want to tell anybody, like my mom or anybody, because my fear was that they were going to say, "Oh, you need an exorcism," or "Oh, that's really a sign that you're a bad person." So I hid it for years and years.
Yep,
Thank you for sharing your story.
All right.
that's right.
Well, let's go back to your pillow stories.
Right. Well, we're gonna.
I want to hear what you found when you were cruising around town for breakfast. That's our favorite thing. We had pancakes for dinner last night. Do
That's
y'all do
awesome.
that?
Yeah.
Breakfast for dinner? We had Mickey Mouse pancakes.
Oh, I love it. No,
Mickey Mouse Maker?
there's a really cool place. Rick Fairless, that those of you who don't know the name might sound familiar. Rick is a guy who builds choppers, Harley Davidson type motorcycles, and he owns a place on Harry Hounds called Strokers, a great little burger joint. Well, Rick
just drove
bought
past that.
Rick bought a place called the State Fountain Grill in Irving. It shut down. It's a very, very old diner with stools and everything at the bar, and that's where we had Armando around the Metroplex this week. Hey, we're at Big State Fountain in Irving, Texas, and if you don't know the history of Big State, it is a fountain. I mean, you get to sit at the counter just like they used to do in the 50s, and Big State started out as a haberdashery, and then it kind of went under not too long ago. Well, none other than Rick Fairless, who owns Strokers, and you might have seen them on Harry Hines, came in and swept it up because Rick lives in Irving and is a lifelong Irving resident, so he ended up buying Big State. And so that's where we're going to have breakfast today. And we're just going to do the breakfast special. 2 eggs, 2 bacon, 2 pieces of toast, but, I also got to knock down some biscuits and gravy. So you'll see what Big State's all about here in just a few minutes. So this is the special. So I actually ordered extra toast with it, but egg scrambled with cheese, a couple slices of bacon. So it's 2 eggs, 2 bacon, 2 toast. This ain't a cup of coffee. This is a cup of gravy. So you got to have gravy with your breakfast, right? So come on down, man. You got to come see this fantastic place. Rick Fairless is doing it right, and the State Fountain, unbelievable. You got to give it a try. So get after it. Hey, look at this one here. This is 2 eggs over easy, sausage, hash browns. That's a surprise. All right, that's it. Yeah, and it's only 26 minutes to Big State to get to my house.
Yeah,
but
I did a show there once.
Did you really?
Because that's where my career's headed. Yeah.
Oh, at a diner in Irving.
Yeah, it was for an optometrist. This guy was very interesting. And so there was like a party for him, and they brought me in. If they pay the price, I'll be in, I did a show.
Was that cup of gravy?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
You want to hear something funny? One time I was at a lunch meeting, and the person I was with went through, we were at a hotel, and they had like a bar where you could get the food or whatever. Drank like soup, a cup of gravy.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Didn't know it.
Oh, it's delicious.
Anyway, I thought of that when I saw that. But that place looks yummy. I love breakfast.
I do too.
Yeah, how do you think Amanda feels every anniversary model's like? A toast.
The toast, and it's gravy instead of wine. Hey, we have, now, am I saying it right, Mimi Pettibone?
You are saying that correct.
Hi,
Yay.
Mimi. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. You're the dream detective. Now, you're out on the West Coast, right?
I am in
Cool.
Seattle.
Oh,
You
love
know where
it.
she's close to.
Oregon, Portland.
That's right.
By the way, my favorite place in near Seattle is in Bellingham. Love Bellingham.
Oh, nice place.
It is. All right, Mimi. So we had an interesting conversation a couple weeks ago with Melissa, and we started talking about. Dean brought up an interesting point about a dream that Melissa had, and it wasn't the way Melissa had the dream was sexual. But Dean brought up something. We said we need to get a dream interpreter, an expert who can tell us actually what our dreams are. So, what is it that you do, and how long have you been doing it?
Well, gosh, I've been doing it on and off for over 20 years, and I work with people to help them understand what the messages of their dreams are telling them. I do more than that. I do coaching and help people to access their own inner truths in many different ways. But dreams are a direct hotline to what's really going on with us.
So, are you using transactional analysis to kind of help yourself find the goings on in a person?
That is one of the many tools I use. Yes, that's a social psychology that also looks at the various parts within us. And one way of looking at dreams is that all the different characters are part of ourselves. It's not the only way, but it's one way. And yes, TA gives us many different facets, but I have many different tools, including more spiritual things and more psychological tools.
Well, and can I make a stab at something, Mimi?
Sure.
You're in a room with a lot of pillows and a dream catcher.
I don't need a dream catcher. I catch them all myself.
Yes.
Aw.
And one of your cats, Mr. Gandalf, just spit up something.
Right.
Am I right? Are we attuned?
Yes.
I took a test this morning. I found out my spirit animal is the Trix rabbit. What does that mean?
It means you're kind of fruity.
Oh, look at
I don't
Mimi.
know.
No, she's already doing her detective work. I love it. That was Dean, by the way. So this is Melissa.
Okay, so hi, Mimi. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, Melissa.
Hi. Okay, so I'm going to just not give too much information, but I will go ahead and go first. I'll take the bullet and tell you about a recent dream. So, oh gosh, now I'm so nervous. Okay, so
Dim the lights.
No, I know. Where are the candles? Where's the lotion?
Thank you.
Oh,
Can you
my
play
God.
Dreamweaver?
Yes.
Oh,
No,
okay. This is even better.
Oh my.
Go ahead,
God.
Melissa.
Okay, so how
Just
Descriptive.
tell. No, just Look, we're a podcast, as descriptive as you
You
want.
want me just to say?
No. Go
No,
ahead.
okay, so it was this dream. I walked up to this home and there was art being sold outside of almost like a brownstone. And I decided to go inside and there was this person there that I knew, female, selling the art. And I said, oh, and I didn't know really that she had moved in. And I started picking up the art and looking at it. And next thing you know, we had this extremely intimate moment.
Lovemaking.
Yes. And
Details.
I mean really, what do you
Yes.
No.
Our listeners want to know. Was it
They-
was it an embrace? Did
There-
were you,
there was
were
a
you
lot of-
kissing?
there was a
Was there
lo-
nudity? How much
Yes.
oil?
Dean, calm down.
my-
Let her finish
No oil.
so I can.
It was extremely intimate and it was so real and it was so
When it was over, did both of you go?
no what is-
Okay.
what does that mean?
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, and then her
Thank you,
husband
Jedi.
I don't get it. Her husband I get it now. Cuz the
going.
hair.
Come on,
Oh.
please.
Okay, so the husband walks in and I said, "Oh my gosh." And he said, "No, it's fine." And I was like, "Oh." So we kept going and it was just I woke up the next morning thinking that was incredible and it was so real and I told my husband and of course he wants all the details. But why am I still thinking about the dream? I've never had an experience with another woman. But it really hit me in a very different way. There you go.
right,
I'm trying to be
Okay.
careful,
All
and
right.
I can't believe I'm even saying this.
No, that's cool.
publicly.
And again, we got Mimi Pettibone, who is a dream detective, and she's been doing this for 20 years. So, Mimi, what do you think?
Well, can I ask Melissa a couple questions?
Yeah.
Okay, Melissa, you don't have to say who this person was, but would you be willing to give me, say, 3 words to describe her?
This is
Next
horrible.
door neighbor.
Right. No, this is good.
Okay.
What's her personality like?
Okay. Sensuous. What would I don't know what word I would use to say she's
Earthy.
No, slim
Okay.
and just very natural.
Okay, so sensuous, slim, and natural. And you also mentioned that she's an artist, right?
In the dream.
In the dream, right.
Yes.
So most romantic dreams, which it's actually really common to have dreams like this, whether it's a same-sex dream if we're not gay, or a gay person could have a hetero dream, or a lot of times we'll dream about our favorite celebrities, but it could even be someone that we work with in the office who we might not be attracted to, but we could still have a romantic dream. And they often do leave a very strong impression because they're so visceral in the feelings are so real. So what this usually means is that you are connecting with those qualities that person represents to you within yourself. So think about your nature, the sides of you that are sensuous, slim, natural, and probably artistic.
Because Mimi, I hate to interrupt, but that's one thing I was going to say is Melissa really described herself.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dean.
Yeah, and so at the
I'm
time
having
of
such
the
a hard
dream,
time.
I'm sorry, what?
Melissa is fanning herself because she's having a difficult time wrapping her head around all this.
Ah.
No, I think
No,
because
it's
I think
just-
you're
yeah,
striking a good chord
You
with
are,
it.
and it's interesting. I mean, I would have never described myself that way.
Right,
Yeah.
because especially as women, we're told, we have to kind of downplay our gifts. But at the time of this dream, you may have either been really getting in touch with that side of yourself, or it could be a reminder, hey, you've got this as a resource. This is part of who you really are.
Okay, I like that. I'll take it.
Good.
Okay, so here's the other. We spoke yesterday, and for people that are having dreams like this, I think that I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Do I tell anyone? It was because it had such an impact, and of course, then I start this text message with the guys, and they're like, tell us more, But other people have these dreams, and I think fear-based, maybe going, well, I'm not gay. Should I say that? Or for a guy, if they were to have a dream like this with the opposite sex and they woke up thinking, I think that's gross to say I'm grossed out by it because it's a dream. Like how does that play out for a man? Or
Well, I'll tell you one of the most common things is people dreaming that their partner is cheating. Or in the example
that
you
one.
gave, they might dream that they're the one doing the cheating. And usually that's a symbol of we're feeling cheated out of our time with the partner. So what happens is someone dreams their husband or wife cheated, they wake up and they want to slam them with the pillow because they're so angry at the person, even though that person didn't actually do the thing that happened in the dream. So they do feel very real, and we have to realize these are usually metaphors. Now, if somebody feels like, I may be getting some clues that my partner's really cheating, they can do some, fact-checking in waking life to see if that's true. But the majority of the time, it's not literal. It's symbolic of feeling cheated out of our time with them.
Okay, I want you to tell her about your recurring.
Oh, my recurring dreams kind of, I've had it since I was a kid, but it always involved a fire. And I can remember the first time I had it, I was terrified, but there was a fire and I was rescuing a blonde girl. And she was always in my arms, and we were coming out of this burning house. And usually after I stand around and there's a bunch of chaos going on, but I'm calm, cool, and collected, and my thought has always been, I need to rescue more people, and then I usually wake up after that.
Okay.
And
so
Mimi,
do you
can
know
I tell you
how old
something?
you were as a kid when this started?
Oh, 6, 7 years old, probably.
And when was the most recent time you had it?
Probably just several years ago, and I'm 51 now.
And Mimi, can I tell you one quick thing?
Sure.
So, Mondo, tell her what your dad used to do.
Oh, my dad was the state fire marshal for the state of Texas.
Oh, well, isn't that interesting?
Thank you, Mimi. Thank you.
Well, but by
My crystal was glowing too.
Wait,
That's exactly what I thought.
when I was 6, though, I didn't really comprehend what my dad did at the time because he wasn't a traditional fireman. He
But he came home smelling like smoke. I mean, it's hard to figure
no,
out.
he
Sherlock.
was more of a fire investigator. So that was the difference. He didn't go fight the fires. And for me, I don't know why it was always a blonde girl. But yeah, I don't know what symbolism there was to any of that.
Well, I would be curious if you ever talked to your dad about this dream, if you ever told
Never.
him.
No, and he's passed now. He passed in 94, but no.
Okay, so I'm going to throw out a couple possibilities. Recurring dreams happen every time a recurring situation or issue comes up for us.
Really?
And so something that may have started when you were 6 years old that still continues to even a couple of years ago, whenever that issue comes up, it could trigger this dream, whether you feel like, you're coming to the rescue of someone else. It doesn't have to be pulling them out of the burning building. Maybe you could be rescuing them emotionally or financially or in some other way. Now, that said, there's a lot of interesting research now on stuff that may have sounded pretty woo-woo before, but there's intergenerational memories that can be passed down through our cellular DNA, and I don't know if that's why I was curious if this could be, if you ever talked to your dad about this, if someone in your ancestry before you were born even had an experience where they pulled a blonde girl out of a burning building. Now, it doesn't have to be genetic either, because sometimes we can dream an experience that someone else is actually having. They call that empathic telepathy. And I'm not saying that's what this is, but just there's so many different possibilities. Dreams can be so holographic.
And
so, especially since your dad worked as in the fire rescue industry, if somehow you emotionally connected to someone's actual experience, maybe it wasn't even your dad, but somebody pulling a girl out of a building, even if that really happened and somehow you picked up on it, that could become an imprint in your psyche for the feeling of rescuing someone, since it is a recurring dream and not a one-time thing.
Is there a chance that our dreams could also give us that feeling of deja vu? Like we won't remember a dream, but that starts a deja vu moment for us where we dream something that really happened in our life?
Yes, actually, that's one of the theories behind deja vu. Is if you realize that we don't remember most of our dreams. All of us dream about 4 or 5 times every night. Some people say they don't dream, but unless they've had some kind of traumatic brain injury or tumor, pretty much everyone dreams. They just don't remember them. So one of the theories of deja vu is that we may have dreamed something before, we just don't remember it until it happens, and then we get that funny feeling like, hey, I've been there before, I've seen this before.
Well, Dean was talking before you came on, and you actually mentioned something about sleep paralysis. Now, I have a ghost investigating company. We say sleep paralysis correlates to demons and a religious way of things. What is your thoughts on sleep paralysis? And because typically sleep paralysis almost always involves some sort of oppression from the dark side.
So yeah, there's a couple ways it can happen. First of all, sleep paralysis is a natural mechanism that we all experience
Thank you.
in the dream state, and it's there to prevent us from physically acting out our dreams so that we don't harm ourselves or others. In fact, in some people that mechanism is somehow not working, and they can actually become very dangerous to themselves because they could go walk out somewhere and get hurt, or if they're angry and violent in a dream, they might hurt their partner. So that's a real issue when it's not working. Now, when it's working, we don't realize it because by the time we wake up, the paralysis has released. But sometimes there's a glitch in the system where, as you've experienced and as you were talking about, our mind wakes up before the body has released the paralysis. And that is absolutely terrifying. Now, for some people, that is just going to happen, and then the paralysis releases and they're fine. But for a lot of other people, they get something called a visitation during that state, and that's called a sleep paralysis attack. That's actually been researched by a professor named David Hufford. He has a whole book on it. Also, Ryan Hurd is a researcher who's done a lot of research on that. But it has been found that throughout history, in every different culture known to man, there are records of sleep paralysis attacks. So whether you believe that these are actual demons or whether you believe this is a figment of the mind, which science will say, but anybody who's experienced it knows how terrifying it is. I've had it too. And my position or my philosophy is that it's not my place to say, yes, it's this, or no, it's that, because I respect everybody's belief systems, but I think anything is possible. The fact that it's been documented through every culture in history makes it pretty valid. Western culture doesn't like to talk about such things a lot, but it is a very real experience that happens to let's say about 15% of the population.
You know, and I've read that book, and every time I read it, I fall asleep.
Okay, we have one final question. So, Jagger, who's the executive producer of this show, he has a recurring dream, and I'm going to say it wrong, and I'm sure I'll get in trouble later, but something about covering up for something, burying someone in the backyard, seeing it through the windows.
Covering up a murder.
What do you think that means?
So there may be something, well, first of all, I'd like to acknowledge that is also a very common theme. Did you say, is he covering up something for someone else or
I think
covering
so.
up something
Yes.
that he's done?
No, it's not what he didn't do it. But
Okay.
He's doing it for someone else, covering up for someone else.
Okay, so...
Do you need to know anything about him?
Yeah,
Because Jagger is gay, and he also is into landscaping. So do those two have anything to do with this dream?
Well, when you say he was covering up something in the dream, one thing we look at is the actions. So if this is a recurring dream, I would ask him, notice when you have this dream, does it feel like you've had to cover up anything? Now, as a gay person, I could imagine that, I don't know his age, but especially historically, that's something a lot of people have had to cover up. It might not be about that. I'm not saying it is, but anything we've had to cover up. Now, burying a body in general is another common theme that sometimes it can represent when we've buried parts of our own selves.
Okay.
So I'd have to ask him to
Interesting.
really get at what exactly it means for him, but those are some of the possibilities.
Okay, we have another question from Jansen.
Okay,
Jansen, go ahead.
So Mimi, I have this reoccurring dream almost on a weekly basis. I mean, it's really strange. So I gain this ability to start flying. And as I'm flying around people, I think that people will start freaking out because that's not a normal thing. And people are always very casual about it, like, oh, okay, cool. And then so I have the ability to fly, but I can't really control it. It's like I'll crash land, and it just will be very kind of spontaneous. I'll have to start running really fast and boost myself up, and it's very hard to control.
And
But
Mimi-
Mimi, can I tell you something? He takes United a lot.
Yes. And he
Well,
also,
there you go.
And he also likes the herb. Go ahead.
Well, actually, the herb, and we're talking marijuana, it suppresses the REM dream state. So what people find is if they go on a spell of time where they're smoking a lot of pot or ingesting a lot of marijuana, they will actually not be remembering dreams because they're not having as many. I know I said we dream, but there are things that can suppress it. And then when they stop, something called the REM rebound effect takes place, where they're going to have, like, the body is making up for lost time, and they're going to have way more intense and super vivid dreams making up for that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, back to the flying dream, what did you feel like, or what do you feel like in the dream when you're flying?
It's very exhilarating. It's
It feels hot.
yeah. Mondo, shut up. Hi. Thank you.
So think about, you said you have this almost weekly, so think about if there's something weekly that might trigger this. But in general, I would ask if you notice something where you feel exhilarated in life, but it's almost like you can't control it, and you're worried about that the people around you will freak out, but it's really fun for you, and you're having fun with it, but it feels a little out of control.
Cool. Thank
All
you,
right.
Mimi.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Well, Mimi, we can't thank you enough. And if you want your dreams analyzed or interpreted, or if you want to have a conversation with Mimi, you can visit thedreamdetective.com, and on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. She even has her own Etsy shop.
Oh, cool.
And has a lot of good things. So
With
visit
hemp
Mimi.
sandals.
Hemp sandals. You have a lot of
No hemp sandals.
no hemp sandals. There she
Just
is.
a deck of cards with little self-help kind of messages. I also have a podcast in the works. If they want to sign up to get an email when it's launched, it's literally in the works right now.
She has her
That's
own studio
fantastic.
at home, and she's ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, dreamdetective.com is where they can find you. And Mimi, we'd love to have you on again. And you've been fantastic. And best of luck to you.
Thanks, Mimi.
Thank you. And it's 3 words, The Dream Detective, just so they
The
know.
Dream
But thank you
Detective.
so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well,
Yeah,
she was off, and it's awesome because it's cloudy today, but during that whole segment, the sun was shining on our studio.
it was.
Aw.
Wow, that's kind of it's really interesting though, in all honesty, to kind of hear these things and go, wow,
I'm not a lesbian.
what we think though, because it is kind of like a spooky moment, and you kind of, once she starts breaking it down, it's really fun. Another thing that is fun is Julie Fisk, and of course, well, what better than Julie Says So Movie Minute, right? How can you beat that? So Julie's going to be doing some fantastic reviews this week, and here she is right now.
Hi, and welcome to the Julie Says So Movie Minute, where I'll give abbreviated reviews of all the biggest new films opening this week. I'll also tell you what the top 5 movies currently out are and hook you up with some free movie passes. We'll wrap everything up with the hottest new trailer of the week, so let's get started with Pacific Rim Uprising. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I loved this movie. Now, let me be clear, Pacific Rim Uprising is dumb. It's just loud and over the top, and the acting is subpar at best, except for John Boyega. That guy is so charming, he can get away with anything. Even his awful "it's time to be a hero" speech is forgivable because you just like him so much. Pacific Rim is so packed with action and awesome visuals that I didn't care it was stupid. I wasn't alone either. All the film nerds at my screening were clapping and cheering at the screen, so yes, prepare yourself for the stupidity, but go ahead and see Pacific Rim Uprising anyway, because I'm giving it a B. You can find more movie reviews and some free movie passes on my website, juliesaysso.com. Right now, I've got passes to see Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One, which screened at South by Southwest recently and got some pretty awesome reviews. If you just can't bring yourself to see the new Pacific Rim, no worries. You can find something else to see in my top 5 movies to see now. Number 5 is The Shape of Water, because it's a good movie, but also because the carcass of some sea creature washed up in Georgia last week, and something about the pictures of it reminded me of Amphibian Man. What is that thing, and why did they have to blur it out? Number 4 is The Death of Stalin, which is actually a comedy from the same guy who gave us V.
I've been picking out funeral cushions with Slim Hitler over there.
It's about the Soviet dictator's last days, but played by old favorites like Michael Palin and Steve Buscemi. The Death of Stalin is also political satire, so it's perfect for those of you who keep fighting about politics with your family. You know who you are. Number 3 is, oh, what the hell, it's Pacific Rim Uprising. Because much like Scott Eastwood himself, it's big, dumb, and oh so much fun to look at. Number 2 is Black Panther because I just can't go another week with it at number 1. Yes, it is the best movie in theaters right now, but instead, I have to give number 1 this week to Love, Simon. This is a great little movie about a kid who's trying to tell his friends and family that he's gay, but it's so much more than that. It's about honesty and acceptance. Love, Simon is also really funny and a little empowering, but no one is seeing it, which is why I have to make Love, Simon my number 1 movie that you have to see this week. Tune into the Julie Says So Movie Minute next time when I'll cover Wes Anderson's Isle of Dogs. Did you see how Bill Murray fell asleep during the South by Southwest panel for this film? Come on, Bill, wake up. Remember, you never have to pay money for a bad movie again. Just find comprehensive movie reviews and free movie passes on my website or follow me on social media. On Facebook, on Twitter, and Instagram. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can find all of those links and more on my website at juliesaidso.com. And the hottest new trailer this week is probably the new one for Avengers Infinity War, which you can now buy tickets to, by the way. I didn't feel like showing the Infinity War trailer, though, because odds are you've already seen it 100 times. Instead, I wanted to show you the brand new trailer for the Mr. Rogers documentary. I happy cried all the way through this thing, and honestly can't think of a movie that the world needs more right now. So the hottest new trailer this week is Won't You Be My Neighbor? Because not all heroes wear capes. I'm Julie Fisk, and that's your Movie Minute.
A television program for children made its unauspicious debut on station WQED in Pittsburgh. Its host, Fred Rogers.
Mr. Rogers?
Yeah.
I want to tell you something.
What would you like to tell
I
me?
like you.
I like you, my dear. Thank you very much for telling me that.
You take all of the elements that make good television and do the exact opposite. You have Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Low production values, simple set, unlikely star. Yet, it worked.
Oh, I've always felt that I didn't need to put on a funny hat or jump through the hoop to have a relationship with a child.
He was always trying to get a message across in every show. A week on death.
What does assassination mean?
On divorce.
Some people get married, and after a while, they're so unhappy that they don't want to be married anymore.
He was radical. I know everyone says that, but he was radical.
They didn't want black people to come and swim in their swimming pools. My being on the program was a statement for Fred.
A neighborhood was a place where, at times that you felt worried, scared, unsafe, would take care of you.
He had a singular vision of kindness and love.
Love is at the root of everything. All learning, all relationships, love or the lack of it. Children have very deep feelings, just the way everybody does. There must be times when you do feel blue. I'm not feeling blue right now, though.
Me neither.
Won't you be my neighbor? Well, I suppose it's an invitation. It's an invitation for somebody to be close to you. The greatest thing that we can do is to help somebody know that they're loved and capable of loving. Won't you please, won't you please, please won't you be my neighbor?
That was excellent. Yeah, actually, I cannot wait to see that. There's a Facebook video of Mr. Rogers testifying before the Senate. Have y'all seen that?
We were talking about
Yeah,
that
I did.
yesterday.
Yeah, where he basically saves, PBS.
in 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy, it was weird that there was a congressman or whatever who had no idea what the hell PBS even meant. They were just going to chop it and slash it. And
Oh, I hear something.
yeah. Oh, it's Mr. Jagger. Hello, Mr. Jagger.
Won't you be my neighbor?
I
I know. Didn't that almost make you cry, man?
You know, the one thing I want to say about Mr. Rogers is the fact that he was one of the only people, if you think back about all the phony people that have ever come through your life, either that you knew from a public figure, politicians, actors, actresses, Mr. Rogers to the very end was Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
There was never any scandal. There was never any bullshit that went along with it. That guy was just who he was. And that was the best thing about Mr. Rogers.
And a Republican. Fantastic.
You want me to hit him?
Fuck you.
You want me to do it? I can do a throat punch from right here.
Dean, throw your pillow at him.
Your
My
body
pillow. I can't. The tears have dried. It's stuck to my thigh.
Oh, no. Jagger, did you see our pictures of what we thought you wear at night?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so tell us the truth.
Yeah, what do you wear?
Wait, can you go back to Mondo's picture? This very, I mean, Dean was hysterical when he said it looked like a
Murdered
body
scene.
found in Forney. Yes.
With the quilt.
Neighbor's worried after odd smell comes from house.
Yeah, no, I'm not even worried about that. I'm more concerned about the wall where his head touches.
Yeah, you need a
we don't have-
headboard.
we can't have a headboard. We have those beautiful Tempur-Pedics.
Hold on,
No,
hold
but
on,
I'm talking about the head stain
Okay,
on the wall.
Yeah, we're looking
Like-
at it. Yeah, so
No, that's just the shadowing
Do
of
a
the
couple
texture.
TV trays or something. There's
No.
something you can slide back there.
That's
we can give you.
texture.
We have so many palettes. I can give you a palette.
No, that's called knockdown texture for those of you that don't know. And that's been knocked
Really?
down. Yeah, that's been knocked down by my.
It looks like it's been knocked down and put back up. It's just dirty.
It's
No,
why
it's
is
not
it so
dirty.
stained?
Mondo, the producers of Law and Order on the phone. They want to base an episode on your sleep cycle.
Oh, look at me sleeping.
Jesus.
Jesus, look at you, gonna die over there, stroke out. Finally, my dreams have come true.
No, don't die. Not today.
How can there be dirt if there's no hair? I don't get it.
Right.
The
No.
oily skin off his scalp.
First of all, Amanda sleeps with 500 pillows. We can't have a headboard. And so that's all. Maybe I put my hands on that wall when I'm getting down. That's all.
Oh God.
Huh? Did y'all ever think of that?
Yeah, there you
My
go.
sleeping position's doggy style.
I was like, pan out. Are we in a trailer?
Good God. Yeah, so what? Judging. What's wrong with people living in trailers?
And this is called deflect. This is called he's trying to get away from what he wears to
No,
bed.
I know. So anyway, yeah, what do you wear to bed?
What do I wear? Well, in the wintertime, they're flannel. You know, the flannel pajama bottoms.
Oh, really?
From LL Bean.
Yeah. And a t-shirt. Usually, it's either my Dallas Cowboys or Pittsburgh Steelers t-shirts.
Massimo makes a great flannel outfit. Can I get you one?
Please.
Look at that.
Hey, how
See?
hot was that guy in this nightshirt? Right?
He was attractive. Yeah.
Mhm, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Do you cuddle? Are you a cuddler when you sleep?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
You can't even
no,
get near
you're
him.
not.
You're like a human can't get near him. His whole space
What are you talking
thing.
about? Oh no, that's
No, Jagger
that's
has
certain
personal.
people.
No, he has
Listen, the best
personal
hugs I
space.
ever got was from Chris Jagger. Just a man full of love.
Wow.
And I don't mean that in a bad.
Thank you.
Why does everything got to be taken this way? Mr. Rogers
Oh,
is
I
here to
know.
tell you to F yourself. I'm mad.
Right.
Colby's the only one that can like get in that space
Yes.
and be sweating on him, and he doesn't even care.
My little baby girl.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, did you hear what the dream interpreter said about your recurring dream? About the
I listened to all the horse shit she had to say.
Thank you.
Oh
Let me tell you
no!
something.
Oh my God.
She's no better than a psychic. You know, they
How
come on and they
dare you.
babble generic bullshit,
Okay.
and everybody goes, "Oh yeah, that's me. You're right."
No.
That is
Okay,
so
hold on.
mean."
Hold on.
No, you're
okay,
wrong.
Hold
Like,
on.
Nonsense.
What do you think? Okay, so what do you think my dream meant?
It didn't mean anything.
Okay.
Dreams don't mean anything. To me, dreams are just random. You know, you have to go through the neurological science of what your brain is doing while it's in the resting phase at night. And it's just nonsensical. It's just kind of your brain is rebooting and categorizing things, and it's just swishing around.
Okay,
and
wait a
they
minute.
mean nothing.
Then why do you have
does
a-
it-
no, why do you have a
would it
recurring
mean
dream?
Anything.
Okay, then why do you
Huh?
keep dreaming
Yeah.
about
Why do you-
covering this up? Why
Right.
do you keep? Why is the same thing going on cycling?
People, you know what? If I was the only one in the world that had recurring dreams, I'd be like, "Fuck, we're onto something." But you know what? Recurring dreams are as common as telephone conversations.
No, they're
There's
not.
Nothing unique. There's nothing unique. There's nothing special. She even said that's a very common theme. In other words,
she says you're also
everybody does it.
No.
Covering
It's as
up.
common as
Nothing.
him hanging up on us.
Yeah.
It's just a fact of life.
Jagger, all that is
Yeah.
you covering up for something, and you're trying to deflect that it's bullshit because you just got caught in something. We need to get your DNA.
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all. Do you guys know what the Barnum effect is? Ever
Yes.
heard of that?
Yes.
Yes.
Based after P.T. Barnum.
Yes.
Heard of him?
P.T.
The Barnum
Barnum.
effect.
Yes.
There's
if you've
a-
ever studied psychology, people would know the Barnum effect. So this was back in the 40s when they did a test. They took 40 students or something like that, and they gave them all a psychological test, and it was a fake test. And they gave every student the exact same results. And those same students were like, "Oh yeah, that's exactly me." And they had them rated on a scale of 1 to 5, and overall they gave their responses a 4.3, saying that, you know what, even though everybody got fake results, everybody that saw it saw that the results were so generic that they were like, "Yeah, that's me, just like a psychic or a sleep analysis does. So psychology knows when they study these kind of things that it's all bullshit. People respond because you're talking about them and they're going, "Yeah, that's me." But it could be you or it could be anybody on the planet. It's nothing special.
I tell you,
you see what you want to see.
I hate to bust everybody's bubbles, but we all think we're so fucking special that, oh, it's got to be me. And that's, look at, when people were talking about them, they're just like, "Oh,
I know.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah."
sensual.
But you see what you want to see. I bet if I stared long enough, Mondo, I could see Jesus in one of the oil stains by your bed.
Okay.
Of course you could.
Okay, what do you think about sleepwalking?
That's a whole nother thing. I mean, I don't know why they get up and start wandering around. I have no idea.
Well, that leads us
But
to
that-
what would Jagger do?
Right.
Here we go.
Right.
Yes.
So if yeah.
Here we go.
Hurry.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead. We're going to let your open
Recurring
happen.
dreams are as common as cues not happening.
All right. Matter of fact, Melissa, why don't you
No,
tell
Dean.
Jagger?
Dean, please, Dean.
This is the scenario for you on your what would Jagger do?
Yeah, so you ready, Mr. Jagger?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, hi, by the way. So while you were sleepwalking, let's say you are a sleepwalker, you have two things you have to choose. Number one, you could kill somebody, but you could be acquitted because the argument is you were sleepwalking. So you get to kill somebody, but you get off scot-free. Or would you have Mondo make mad, passionate love to you, but you are able to sleep through it?
Why does it have to be mad? That's what I want to know.
Yes.
So I could kill somebody and get away with it.
Or
sleep with Mondo.
Or have Mondo like a sea cow grunting and sweating on top of you for hours.
I actually see
but you wake up,
And banging his head on the wall.
Yes, but you wake up and you feel okay, and there's an oil stain on your headboard. But other than that, you have no clue.
Hold on a minute. Who made me the bottom?
I'm more obsessed with the fact that I could get away with murdering someone. Melissa, would you like to sleep over?
Oh, that's not nice.
So it's just every day.
That's not nice.
Oh my God.
Oh, he's
Well,
projecting.
we'd be on 48 hours. My business partner was murdered.
I
you
know.
know.
We always say that we need something to go viral for the business. So I would, if that's what it took, I would take one for the team. Right?
Aw,
I know.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Boy, take that, Staples.
Yeah.
No, I think if I could get away with murder, it depends. I'd either have to convince somebody to sleep over, or I'd have to convince them to let me sleep at their house.
No, it'd be
Which
one of
would,
the
but that would you never would do either of those. So
Well, yeah, you would. I don't see you ever sleeping over at anybody's
no,
house.
you would never do that,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't let anyone spend the night at your
Jagger, would you spend the night at my house?
place. Never.
No.
Never.
No.
No.
Would you sleep over at Dean's?
No.
Yeah, Dean and I could probably cuddle and not
Are
be
you?
sexual.
Oh, they could cuddle.
You are so full of
What's
shit.
wrong with that? Why are we the bad
Okay,
guys?
the locksmith is here. I gotta go.
All right, very good. Adios.
Locksmith.
The locksmith.
Yeah.
That's like the lotion on my legs. The
Yeah.
locksmith is here.
All right.
Well, no, but that makes sense. Someone showed up. Bong, bong.
Why is the locksmith there?
Well, someone's got to let Patrick out.
That's it. All right, everybody. So this is this version of the Oddcast podcast. Couple weeks, we're actually gonna have a fun show. Spring cleaning.
Like
that's-
today? What is wrong with you?
Well, no, listen.
You don't know the art of the upsell.
Spring cleaning.
Oh my God, I'm so hungry.
All kinds of good stuff that's going to
Okay,
be
like-
coming up, and we're going to be discussing that. But
Garage sales, spring cleaning.
love it, love it,
Oh, my
love it.
stand-up class.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
oh my gosh, where's the graphic? There it is.
Stand-up comedy workshop,
4,
Dean.
3, 2, 1. Thanks. Yeah, there's still classes. Contact me, Dean, at DeanLewisComedy.com if you want some info on how to sign up and then become funny, just like me. Look at what my life turned out.
I love it. And also the launch with Tim Vasquez, my brother, coming up after our show. So make sure and stay tuned for that. Thank you, everybody. We'll catch you next week.